This morning I'm going to cover the exam paper XOS1511, January-February of 2016. Okay, I'm busy covering question 1. As you can see here, they're saying here, the South African Dance and Teachers Association presents their annual Stars of Tomorrow dance competition. The entrance fee for participants is calculated as follows. Participants under the age of 7 pay no entrance fee. Participants from the ages of 7 to 11 years pay 50 Rand for novice level dancers, 75 Rand for intermediate level dancers, and 100 Rand for advanced level dancers. Participants from the ages of 12 to 15 years pay 150 Rand, irrespective of the level they will be participating at. Participants older than 15 years are not allowed to participate in such a case. An appropriate error message should be displayed. Use nested if loop and write down only the necessary C++ statements to calculate and display the entrance fee to be paid by a participant, or to display an appropriate error message when required. Do not write a complete program. Use the following variables. Assume the values have already been assigned to these variables. Now if you have a look over here, I'm going to just increase the font a little bit. You'll see I've decided to write the whole code so that you can test it and see that it's working. Now the things that I took note of is that they've said two important pieces of information. It says here, to calculate and display the entrance fee to be paid by a participant. So I'm assuming that you can only enter one participant at a time, because they're saying a participant. If they needed more, they should say one or more participants. So yeah, based on this, I'm choosing a participant. And they're also saying assume that values have already been assigned to these variables, which means that I'm assuming that all these variables have already been defined, okay, and declared and initialized. So what I've done here is I've created the full program. Okay, I'm going to expand this a little bit because now we've finished reading the question. I've obviously used the standard include IO stream, which is to help you with your input and output. I've also used the namespace standard, which just allows us to use things such as int and char and all of those information. I've created the int main, which is where we're going to store the main part of our program. There's the three variables that they've declared here that they've asked us to use. Okay, so this is the below snippet of code that means nothing for this question, because they said that all these variables would have been declared. So from here I've specified that these are not, this is this code that needs to be excluded. The first, what we're doing is we're asking the person to please enter an age, okay, of the participant, because they said it's only a participant. So I've said if the age is between 7 and 11 years, then obviously that it matters about the dance level. So this is what this basically does, is it says that if the age is from 7 years to 11 years, okay, that's why I've used the greater than equals to sign, and less than or equal to 11, then it must ask for the dance level. Okay, if you don't include an else statement, it will not, it won't do anything. So after that, this is the part that you need for your assignment or question. Is basically, they said here, if participants under the age of 7 pay no entrance fee. So I said, okay, if the age is less than 7, then the fee is 0. It says under the age. So under the age meaning it mustn't include the age. If they said up to the age of 7, then you would have used a less than or equals to sign. But because they said under the age, we're using a less than sign. then I set the fee to 0. Then the next part of the nested loop, this is what a nested loop is basically saying if, then else if, then else if, and then else. Okay. The next part of it says a participant from the ages of 7 to 11 years pay 50 Rand for a novice level. Okay. So what I've done is I've said else if the age is 7 and 11, then we start opening up our brackets and we go into another if statement, because now we want to know what dance level they're on. Okay, so this is where we use our character variable based on what they've mentioned here in this. They've said here can be N for novice, R for intermediate, or A for advanced, which we've declared up the top here, but we need to use it in the code. So what we're doing is we're saying if the dance level is N, which is for novice, then the fee must be set to 50 Rand. If the dance level is I for intermediate, then the fee must be set to 75 Rand. And if the dance level is A for advanced, then the fee must be set to 100. And if they forget to enter a dance level, or they decide to choose any character that's outside of NRA, which is very possible, then they must set the fee to 0. Okay, the only thing I've noticed here is I open a bracket and I didn't close a bracket, but that's just for nice presentation. Anyway, the next question here says participants from ages 12 to 15 years pay 150 Rand irrespective of the level they will be participating at. So I've said here that else if the age is greater than or equal to 12 and age is less than or equal to 15, then the fee is set to 150 Rand. Else the fee is set to 0, because this is where it says here participants older than 15 years are not allowed to participate. In such a case, an appropriate error message should appear. So I'm saying, well, we've got all the variables declared, so anything outside of this should say the fee is 0, and the output should say the age entered is greater than 15, and therefore you are not allowed to participate. You could go even further and say if they entered -1 or -20, that it's a negative age, but I'm not going to go into that finer detail. I think they're happy with this basic output. So that finishes that nested loop. What I've done here is I've said that if the fee is greater than 0, then it should output the output and saying the total fee, entrance fee, is whatever the fee was generated from the figure, which was fee. And so that will basically display the variable fee to the user. Else, it must say you're not allowed entrance, goodbye. Okay. To make this more neat, I'm just going to add an end L in it, although I don't think it really matters since you're going to be saying goodbye to the person. Yeah, so now to test the program, I'm going to execute it and I'll show you that it is working. So basically we've got enter participant's age. If I enter a 7, it comes up and it asks me which level am I talking about. I can put I for intermediate, and there it says the total entrance fee is 50 Rand. Is that what we said? I is meant to be 75 Rand. So let's go and see why is 50 Rand. If dance level is I, then it should be 75. Why didn't it display I? Let me try that again, because I had tested it on the entrance level, and clearly did I include yes dance level? Yeah. So I'm saying I, because I want to test it. Still showing me 50 Rand. Okay. Let me have a look look and see why it would do that, because it should only be checking if it's n equals yeah, advanced level equals. I wonder if I've maybe it has to be a double equals. Let me just try that. Okay, 7 I. Yeah, there we go. I'm actually getting forgetful in my age. So we just needed to make sure that it's a double equals for testing. There, it comes up with the 75. Okay, and then if we're going for we'll choose a 16-year-old. You'll see the age entered is greater than 15, and therefore you are not allowed to participate. You are not allowed entrance. Goodbye. I forget that 1 equals is actually setting it, and the second equals is checking it, the double equal sign. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful and informative. And yeah, good luck with the exam.